So guess who started a media war and forced an apology from Team That Certain Aquaman starlet? That's right, yours truly. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And if you're wondering how a media war that is still raging right now, it's very much active, gets kicked off by yours truly, well, let's look right here at June the 2nd. What I'm talking about is an article that was written by Taylor Lorenz of the Washington Post. It was definitely a hit piece too. It talked about how much money people made. It talked about YouTubers basically going pro JD for profit. And on top of that, it threw in Adam Waldman, and what it said about him, it was beyond absurd. Now, what makes this even bigger is that after I put this on blast, you'll notice the time here, by the way, of that first post, 8:31 p.m., June 2nd, 2022. Guess what happens? Do you have the Washington Post admit that they had a problem? Do you have the person that wrote this admit that they lied? Nope. That doesn't happen. Instead, they decide to write me at 9:44. So we're talking about an hour plus later, and you can tell from what they say here that this is their first contact. Hi there. I'm a reporter at the Washington Post and wanted to reach out to see if you'd be interested in letting us know how much you made recently on your YouTube channel. Right now, you're mentioned in a stat in our story. So you notice that. Right now, you're mentioned. So this isn't before the fact. This is after the fact. I put this out. You have so many networks that end up picking this up, putting this on blast. Now, the other thing that I put on blast and I made sure to reference repeatedly is the way that they grossly mischaracterize Adam Waldman's communications. Quote, last month, Adam Waldman, who represented JD against that certain Aquaman starlet's allegations in 2016, by the way, that is factually incorrect, that he did not represent against any allegations in 2016, but hey, again, what do I know? Testified that he quote-unquote slid into big influencers' DMs to provide information about the case and promote the notion that JD was innocent. Slid into DMs. First of all, he never mentioned direct messages at all. Second of all, sliding into someone's DMs is usually a very negative connotation. So you see how they spin this. They spin it in such a nasty way, and it causes them problems too. Now, the hilarious thing about this is that networks do start reaching out for comments after that. You have Fox who writes a piece. You have CNN even comment on that. So I put out something publicly. I'm not going to read through this here, but I know what went on that I just talked about. I also know that I put this in the DMs of the person asking, and I also made it public because I don't trust the press with good reason, no offense to the writer, and I believe that this should be very transparent because the public should know how the mainstream works. No more hidden backroom BS, and I firmly believe that, by the way. You should be able to see exactly what they do. Now, the hilarious thing about this is that once the Washington Post gets called out, once the lie gets exposed, what do they decide to do? Oh no, it's not apologize. They decide to stealth edit their article, trying to make it look like somebody out there is crazy and just trying to cause them problems. While this is going on too, now. So even after this correction is thrown out there, the writer of this article is still going after me, still saying that I'm a radicalized influencer, that basically, this is some kind of conspiracy attached to politics. This is what happens when you have a male survivor of DV actually get justice. This is what happens when a hoax this big gets called out. They try to destroy everyone that exposed that. I'm not the only one that did that, by the way. There were lots of people involved, but they're trying to take out influential targets. I've been saying that all along. Now, in the Washington Post, they get called out again for this. They get called out by places like CNN. They have to issue a correction. This is their apology. So they do apologize in a way, but they haven't really apologized, have they? Look at this, though. The first published version of this story stated incorrectly that internet influencers, they love that word, by the way, influencer, because, again, the connotation that they want to add, they have Legal Bites and myself have been contacted for comment before publication. Now, they say that she was contacted via Instagram. She hotly contests this fact, saying that that never happened. I don't believe the Washington Post. I mean, they lied about myself. Why would anyone believe them right now? But hey, they say it's true, right? After the story was published, the Post continued to seek comment from the first person listed here via social media and queried That Umbrella Guy for the first time. So they're admitting here, finally, they're admitting they did not try to contact me. They didn't do anything about it. They've been calling me a liar for over 24 hours before this came out. They've been calling me a liar, the writer of it, even after that, but they admit it here. Now, during that process, this makes it even worse. Like I was saying, the Post removed the incorrect statement from the story, but did not note its removal, which is a violation of their corrections policy. So again, they tried to hide it. They tried to make myself and other people look like liars in it when they get exposed. That's what the media is. And it's funny coming from a place that has the byline, democracy dies in darkness. What have you folks been doing in the dark? Maybe that's why we're out here exposing you. So the story has been updated to note that, well, she declined to comment for the story, and That Umbrella Guy could not be reached for comment. You wrote me. I've got it right there. How was I not reached for comment? You can find me on social media. My DMs are open. They never even tried that. I'm publicly talking about this. They didn't reach out that way. And again, they wrote me. So yeah, they reached me for comment. That's yet another lie. And then they note a previous version of this story also inaccurately attributed a quote to Adam Waldman, a lawyer for JD. The quote described how he contacted some internet influencers and has been removed. Yeah, they boiled that down to make it sound like it was nothing. You saw what they had to say about sliding up in DMs, making it look like something crazy was going on. And again, right now, this is still going on. Right now, they are still attacking myself. They're still attacking other people. They're putting out hit piece after hit piece. They're becoming more flagrant about it. They're talking to lawmakers, trying to make sure that we can never talk about something like this again. Why? Because, again, they backed one of the biggest hoaxes ever. They never saw us coming when they talked about it. And you know what? I'll say this to end. Washington Post, if you want war, I will give you war. I mean, if that's really what you want, you already got made look like a fool. You want war? We can do that. Or you can just apologize. You can let male domestic abuse survivors, you can let them actually have their day. You can let them have a voice. Because if you don't, well, people will force you to.